Welcome, everyone. My name is Shawn Jones, and I'm the CEO of the iNetrapreneur Network. And today I'm excited because I have Dr. Mort Orman. He has a very distinguished career helping individuals on a variety of levels. So welcome, Dr. Mort Orman.
Well, thank you for having me, Shawn.
Dr. Mort, I would love for you to share, before we dive into what you're doing today to help individuals, share with us a little bit about who is Dr. Mort.
Well, I've been an internal medicine physician for the last 50 or so years. For 40 years of that time, I've also been helping people learn how to eliminate anger and stress from their lives. So I firmly believe, and I believed early on in my career, that a lot of the anger and stress that we experience is really unnecessary, and we could get rid of most of it if we just had the right insights and the right understanding of how to go about doing that. So I was doing a lot of that when I was practicing medicine, and then I had a corporate career after that. Now I'm retired, and so I'm sort of able to spend most of my energies now just helping people learn how to get rid of anger and stress.
Anger and stress, those are two qualities that do often go hand in hand. And sometimes people don't always consider themselves angry, although they may be showing anger. Your experience as an internal doctor, medicine doctor, what was the aha moment when you began to realize that anger and stress are connected and impacting the physical body?
Well, firstly, I experienced it myself as a medical student and an intern and resident, and in my first few years of practice. Most young doctors and doctors, even seasoned doctors, have a lot of stress. It's a stressful profession. So I experienced stress myself, and then my patients would come to me and they would unload what was going on in their lives. They're having not just health problems, but they'd be having family problems, marital problems, problems with their kids, financial problems, businesses going under, things like that. And they would be looking to me to help them with their stress, and I knew I didn't know how to deal with my own. So, and I also could see over time, when you see people over many years, you see the effects that stress has on their health and on their life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a normal job where you go into work every day and you don't see that. I would see that every day when I went into work. So it was right in my face, and I knew that that was headed for me if I didn't learn how to do something about it. So that's what drove me to really keep looking for solutions, because I tried a lot of the traditional solutions for anger management and stress management, and they really didn't work for me all that well. So I kept exploring for other options, other strategies, and eventually I found some really good ones, and I've been using them ever since.
When we talk about stress and anger, some of us tend to hide that with, I call, the mere smile. What are some effects that you have seen for those that do contain, either try to hide the stress or they try to hide the anger, they just embed it within? What are some signs that you have witnessed?
Well, it takes a lot of psychic energy to do that. Firstly, we shouldn't be stressed in the first place. It's really not natural to be stressed. There's this myth out there today that life is just stressful and you can't avoid it. But I found that's not true. The last 40 years of my life, even though being an active physician, having lots of responsibilities, was amazingly stress-free once I understood what the heck was really going on. So it's not true that you have to be stressed. But people are, and they're angry and they're stressed, and we don't like to show it. We don't like to talk about it. We don't even like to admit it. It seems like it's a sign of weakness. It's really just a sign of not having the proper understanding. And we've been given a lot of bad ideas. We've been taught a lot of incorrect things about anger and stress that keeps us stuck. So I've been sort of fighting against that, trying to correct a lot of the myths and misconceptions. And it obviously has negative effects on our health, on our relationships. It can negatively impact our kids. If we're angry and stressed, we're going to be modeling that for our kids and not giving them a better role model for how to cope with life. So, I mean, there's all kinds, and plus it has financial impacts as well. I mean, we end up spending money or losing money because we're stressed, or we can't move on an opportunity that might be very good for us because we're so overwhelmed already. We can't take anything more on our plate because we're afraid it'll stress us out even more. So there's lots of ways that we lose, or we get sick, or you can get into accidents, you can make mistakes, Your mind isn't totally focused. There's all kinds of negative effects of being angry and stressed that we pay the price for having. And so we should be paying more attention to it. We should be openly talking about it. And we should be seeking out better strategies than the ones that are currently being offered to us.
Absolutely. Now you're retired and
Yes.
now you have you opened it, you started a company. Share with us your business. What is the name of your company and who are you helping?
The name of the company is Free Yourself from Anger and Stress, which makes sense given what I just said. And so that's what I named it. And I am, I'm really focused on husbands and fathers right now.
Hmm.
I really like teaching husbands and fathers how to not get angry at their wives, not get angry at their kids, or anybody else, people they work with. So that, there are a tremendous amount of programs for women, personal development. And there are some for men, but I think there's many, many more out there for women. I think men have been sort of shortchanged today in terms of personal development programs directed specifically for them. So I like to invite fathers and husbands who want to learn how to get rid of their anger. I can teach them how to do that very quickly. It doesn't take a long time, and it can really make a difference in their lives and in the lives of their kids and in their health. And so, if I can spend my retirement years doing things like that, I'll be very happy to have been able to take those skills that I've developed over the years and share them with other people.
When you work with clients, do you work with them on an individual basis or do you offer group opportunities?
I do both. Right now, I'm working mainly with individuals, but it's certainly doable in a group format as well. And I've done that. I've done many groups in the past that I've led and conducted over the last 40 years. But I like to work with individuals now. And again, I can bring people in just 10 sessions. I can show them how to give them a system for understanding and dealing with their anger and teach them how to use it. And then they've got that for the rest of their life. I've been using it in my own life for the last 40 years, and it works great. And it doesn't take that long to learn it. It's not that difficult. And you just need the right approach and the right understanding to be able to make use of it. And that's what I enjoy doing, giving somebody in a short period of time like that, teach them how to really stop being an angry person, which you can do.
And it sounds like that your system is transferable regardless of the point of stress or the origin of anger. Is that correct?
The system for anger will work with any type of anger. It doesn't matter what makes you angry or how sensitive you are to different things or how easily you get angered. It doesn't matter. It's fundamentally about anger in human beings. So if you're a human being, this system applies to you and it will work for you. And it shows you that everybody gets angry for the same underlying reasons in a generic sense. Now you can't mind read it, you can't know exactly what people are thinking or what triggers certain individuals, but in a generic sense, you can know how they're thinking, you can know how they're poised to behave that produces anger. And once you know that formula, you can step in as a human being and do something about it. Where if you're blind to all that, like most of us normally are, then all you can do is deal with your external environment and behavior of other people and try to lower your anger that way, which, as we all know, doesn't work all that well.
No, it does not. No, it does not. And at some point, you do have to deal with the stress and the anger because otherwise it's more like a compound effect. It just starts to
Yes.
build and build and build and then you can no longer hide it. You can't keep it in your little Pandora box, as I refer to it as, and it does affect the relationships around you.
Yes. And I think that's what happens in a lot of divorces. People have built up all these chronic little resentments over time. They don't speak about them. They don't express them. They don't know how to deal with them on their own to get rid of them. So they pile up and then they just come out one day after 20 years, somebody says, I don't want to be married anymore, because they have these constant sources of irritation where it should be a loving relationship. It's now a source of irritation. So I want to try and prevent as much of that as possible. And you can prevent it if people just have a better understanding of where anger comes from within themselves and for all human beings.
Absolutely. Dr. Mort, if somebody would like to talk to you more about how you can help them overcome stress or anger in their life, they would like to find out more about your services on either that individual basis or group basis, how can they contact you?
Well, I have a free handout called The Best Anger Elimination Method You Can Find. And it goes into some more details, more of what we've been talking about today and about the anger program that I have. And it's you can get that, anybody can get that for free at theangersolution.org, theangersolution.org. And they'll be able to get that PDF report and also get them on my email list so they can communicate with me by email if they want to. And I send out emails every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on a topic related to anger or stress that I pick for the week. And I break it into 3 sections. And so it's something that I've been doing for the last 12 years that I have a lot of people on my list that seem to enjoy that and get value from that. So that you can get on the list as well as get the report and find out how you can participate in the anger program if you'd like to.
That sounds great. Something tangible to where they can look at it and say, yes, this sounds like something I definitely need to help reduce stress or anger in my life. Dr. Mort, I want to thank you so much for all that you're doing to help people overcome the stressors and anger in their life. And I also want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here today.
You're very welcome.
For those of you who have just watched, I interviewed Dr. Mort Orman. He is also one of our upcoming speakers at the Art of Connection Global Summit, which is an online event being hosted on February 23rd. To learn more from Dr. Mort Orman, he'll also be hosting some private workshops. He'll be speaking on stage. You too can attend by visiting artofconnectionsummit.com.